How's it going, Zach?
Are we live?
Yes, we're live, buddy. We're live. I can't see my chat though. Give me a second. No, I just can't see my chat. Give me a sec. Go for it, Zach. I'm assuming you heard what I just said.
Yeah, I was listening. Sorry, it took me a sec to hop on here. I was letting my Discord group know that I was going live with you. So, so basically, I understand where you're coming from. Basically, the reason why people have brought up the VeriDAO is kind of just as an example of the SEC using a distribution agent and a fair fund to basically pay back or give back compensation to damaged investors. And in the case of Veritasium, they acquired over about 90% of the supply. And then, I don't even know what they're doing with it, but they acquired about 90% of the supply. And then I guess they did some sort of buyback. In this regard, the only reason why people are bringing that up is they're not saying there's a similar case with Ripple, because Ripple's not committing fraud. It's just whether it's a conversation of, is XRP a security? Was XRP a security at one point? Were some of the sales by Ripple structured as a security? That's the question. It's not a case of fraud. So in this instance, that's why Ripple wouldn't be the counterparty. It would be the SEC would be the counterparty in this. And, that's really why people brought up the Veritasium example.
But the Veritasium example is a really bad example for the buyback, right? Because the Veritasium example basically is literally they got fined, $9.5 million, and then they generated the very fair fund out of that $9.5 million to give back to the people that own the tokens. Whereas this is what the fair funds that you're basically doing for the buyback and saying that using it as an example for the XRP token is going to be exactly the same thing. So Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, they'll be fined. They'll be told to pay back, what, $2 billion, $3 billion?
They didn't commit fraud. So the allegations against and conviction, it's a settlement. So Reggie Middleton, the creator of Veritasium, I actually interviewed him on my YouTube channel, and basically he settled up. So he did not admit guilt to the fraud that they alleged. So this case was fraud. In the case of Ripple versus SEC, they're just going after them for, whether or not XRP is a security and some of those sales that Ripple did, and Brad and Chris, of course, too. So it's two separate deals.
Not really, because the fraud is actually the IPO sales of the very token. The very token itself was the way that they went about it. They claimed that it was a security, and therefore they defrauded the people by selling the tokens. That's the reason now when you actually look at the Veritasium system, they've just raised over $2 million for a patent. They've got a patent pending with the VeriDAO. They're trying to take Coinbase to court for $350 million for the VeriDAO patent for the actual DeFi itself. Yeah. I mean, that was all in the amicus brief, though, wasn't it? Back in November. So the information was there already. But the thing is it's exactly the same reason why Ripple's been brought in. But we also know that Chris Larson took 9 billion tokens for this reason, for the SEC.
Where have they charged Brad, Chris, or Ripple for fraud? Because I haven't seen them charge them with fraud. I haven't seen that.
It'll be securities fraud. At the end of the day, they haven't been charged yet. No, because the outcome of the court case is going to be that. It's securities fraud, selling securities under a different guise, which is exactly what VeriDAO got done for. It's exactly the same thing. Just the fact they haven't been charged with it yet doesn't mean that won't be the outcome of the judge's outcome.
That sounds like speculation.
But so is the buyback, right?
Speculation. But regardless, the reason why that was even talked about as an example was just to show that there are, there's funds that are set up to pay back investors, to pay back people that were harmed.
No, there isn't.
And then there's distribution agents.
There isn't that. Zach, there isn't. The distribution and funds that are available are there because the government, the SEC and the court case fined them, and they redistribute those fines back to the people.
Right.
that there is no funds available to get from the government. There is no 2.8 quadrillion buyback from the Fed. There is nothing of that nature that even anywhere, shape, or form will happen. And the fact is that we know, from the information that was provided by the SEC before they even took Ripple to court, that the actual price of XRP has been kept at suppressed level based on the actions of Chris and Brad to start off with. From 2014 to 2019, they employed market makers to make sure that every time they said the word HODL or Ripple, not XRP, that they would sell their XRP with the market makers every time. So we know that they were keeping it down to this level, which is why I was saying a minute ago, during the court case, if they kept it at the same price of all the way through the court case, when it comes out to the fair fund, because they saw what happened to Veritasium, they would know that they've only got a certain amount of people to pay back. And if they keep buying it back off the market, but how do I put this? If they remarket that idea of buying it back off the market as a good thing, as retail aren't supposed to own it, therefore loads more people are going to buy into it, but then they can take it off the market. To me, there's a lot of marketing gimmicks going on right now. Do you not see it?
Sure, but you have to focus on what actually pertains to the case. And the only point that I was trying to make is the historical precedent. So there was a buyback of gold, right? So we can agree on that, right? And then there was a fair fund set up and a distribution agent for Veritasium. We can agree on that, right? Like that's happened. That's precedent. It has occurred. Like
yes, but
we
that was
agree on
purely
that.
100%. But that's from the fine.
So that's the only point is that there are deals set up like that when investors have been damaged or harmed. The SEC has done this in the past. When the currency needs to be reset, when the debt needs to be reset, they have bought back gold. So we have those precedents. Now we get into a conversation of our speculation of, what currencies are going to be adopted, and is XRP the reserve currency? Is it the asset, the currency to move all the money? That's a different conversation. The only reason why Veritasium was brought up was just to explain to people that funds can get set up. They use distribution agents, and just to get people familiar with terms that are used in the instance of such a case occurring. Now, me and you can debate XRP being the reserve currency, Ripple's, was it marketing gimmicks? Are they lying to us? Are they keeping it suppressed? That's a different conversation. And
it's not, though.
That's what we're
I'm
here
sorry.
for.
I am sorry, right? It's the same fucking conversation. It is the same conversation whether you like it or not. If you're going to keep your token suppressed at a value range, and you've basically stabilized it between the price value of around about 35 to 45 cents for like 5 years solid, and then when you go into court case, and then you've got a price suppression going on again, still within the same. Everybody knows there's a bottom line and there's a top line in which it keeps hitting.
Yeah,
that's out there for the world to see, right? We can all see it. We can see it doesn't flow against Bitcoin. We can see it doesn't flow against every time everything else pumps. We can all see it. We're not thick. Even newbies like myself to this token, we could see that from the get-go, right? So that is not a separate conversation to the court case, because when you come out of this court case and it ends and there's a fine, the value that is actually going to be hit on this is going to be the same value that we actually went into the court case with, which is going to be around about 35 to 45 cents. Well, when they come out of that court case, it's going to be exactly the same, because it went in at that price, it stayed at that price, and it came out at that price.
My point being is that when I've had this conversation, when I listen to others, and that my point is, I'm here for the conversation. I love this conversation. I love the back and forth, and I think that healthy debate is what this world needs. But my point is I just want to be clear on the different points. Like, there's so many different points in this overarching conversation that we've been having. So for me, I've been trying to get people back off of 50K buyback, because that's not what it's really about for me. And then we move past that to how do we actually solve the currency and the debt crisis in the United States. I speak as an American, and I clearly say that. I'm like, this is my opinion. This is what I would love to see. But that's different from the facts of the lawsuit, of the case. And I mean, we can talk about it all. I just don't want to get mixed up on the exact issues or disagreements or questions. I want to be able to answer all the questions that people have. and an understanding of why this conversation is important for me.
Zach, the problem I've got, right, is I didn't care that you was an option 3 guy at 10,000 up to this, right? I did not give a crap, right? Because everybody's got their opinion on XRP. Nobody knows exactly 100% where the token's going to be. We've all got our ideas, right? We've all got that. The problem I've got is Val Hill Capital. What the fuck are they in it for? What the fuck are they in it for? Why are you guys now all of a sudden in secret communicado, right?
Yeah.
As a council, why do you even care to be with a? These guys literally are a sponsored promoter. They call themselves an investor, right? But they are sponsored promoters. They call themselves that as their company. Then on top of that, they wrote in an amicus brief that they put a, does it Delta Wave Energy for $50 million that doesn't even fucking exist? It's just a shitty little website. Then when you look at Val Hill Capital, that again, shitty little website that's been built in 2020, doesn't even do anything. And yet you guys are sitting in a committee with a guy that talks about all of these random things that are just not factual, not based on anything. Yeah, I don't care, mate. You know what? I've got a counter one. I've got this one. This one's where the real facts are, Zach.
No,
This is all the facts.
this is what I mean, is tell me how you really feel, and clearly you feel a way about Val Hill. So then we can focus the
No.
conversation on Val Hill.
You changed my the way I was going because you brought out the red envelope.
Sorry,
But
finish up. Sorry.
the problem I've got is these guys came out back in 2020, did exactly the same thing, right? Did a £35,000 buyback. Sorry, 35,000 buyback. Didn't fucking go anywhere. Didn't get no traction whatsoever. Nobody gave a crap about them. Now all of a sudden they start up a brand new attack on this because they think it's coming to the end. They managed to put an amicus brief in. They're sticking there with Delta Wave Energy for a valuation of 50 million that doesn't even fucking exist. Then you've got Jimmy running around telling everybody that they're going to buy back the whole escrow accounts. They're going to get the government to buy back the full 50 billion escrow accounts from Ripple. That they're going to turn it into a security when it comes out of the court case. Then you've got Jimmy coming on to everybody's lives and just talking about the fact that it's all the money, it's all the derivatives, it's all of this, it's all of that. And I keep asking, where are the facts?
Yeah.
Where is all the facts that says that all the derivatives markets will be on XRP? All of the actual tokenized assets will be on XRP. At the moment, mate, you've got XLM, XDC, XRP. I mean, you've even now got Quant now coming into the cross-border payment system. You've got Algorand, you've got HBAR. I can name shitloads of cross-border payment technologies out there right now.
Yeah.
Who's to say they're getting it all?
Well, here's where you should submit your research to the SEC and to the counterparty across the table from Val Hill and the rest of the XRP community. If this were to proceed, if this were to be a case, the SEC, the counterparty, your side of the table gets to prove why XRP, why that scenario wouldn't have played out if the SEC wouldn't have sued Ripple. See, so that's the claim. It is a claim. And if you want to talk about,
it's suing. So this isn't a buyback. This is suing the SEC. This is nothing to do with a buyback. This is suing the SEC for me. It's fantasized abilities of a digital asset that doesn't get used. I mean, there's HBAR Algorand sitting there waiting for people to use it. It's been built for years. Nobody's fucking using it, but they're all built. But the thing is that you're trying to sue the SEC for something that people aren't using. So how can you give it a perceived value when nobody's using any crypto blockchain networks at all?
Nobody sued the SEC. The SEC sued Ripple, Chris Brad, and asserted that the XRP asset is a security. So the SEC engaged in the lawsuit first. This proposal goes to the Fed, Treasury, other parties and entities who may be interested in using XRP, may have an interest in XRP, are trying to say that maybe we couldn't own XRP, who have made it difficult to buy XRP. And so that's the thing, is that the SEC sued us. It wasn't just Ripple, Brad, and Chris. They've asserted that this property, this asset is a.
Your sound's gone, Zach.
Sorry, I got a phone call there. Sorry about that.
And every time you go live, man, back. It just interrupts, doesn't it? No, it's all good. Continue.
Let me silence my notifications. But no, the SEC sued us. Ripple, Chris, Brad, and then all XRP holders essentially have been tied up in this, and they put a cloud on our title, on our title to this asset, this property. And see, here in the United States, we have that Fifth Amendment. So if they do plan on using XRP in any sort of way as a reserve currency, as a liquidity token for wholesale payments, on the back end, that's a part of the conversation. And we allow the SEC, we allow the counterparty in future court proceedings to basically bring forth their set of facts and evidence to prove why XRP is not worth 50K. Jimmy, art of the deal, negotiations, making a claim with the rest of the valuation committee, and they're working on a new valuation right now, and basically explaining how they're coming to that valuation, right? But for me, this is just a proposal basically brought forward by American guys who are interested in the XRP ledger. Jimmy Vallee's the main leader. If you want to talk about his credibility, he told me that he was basically leading the transactions as a lawyer back in the day for an $8 billion deal. He did an $11 billion deal. So that tells me, that
Sorry.
he's done deals. He's done deals
Yeah.
in the billions as a lead lawyer, not just pushing paper on the back end, leading like general counsel role in some of these business deals, these M&A transactions in the billions.
But okay, Zach, there's a reason why lawyers are lawyers and businessmen are businessmen. Lawyers do laws, businessmen do deals. They don't cross, right? Lawyers get told where to go with their laws, and like how they actually do the contract deals and everything else. They don't really cross, right? So the 8 billion deals that he's done, was he actually running that as a businessman, or was he directed as a lawyer to actually do those deals? That's my question on this great grandiose announcements that he's doing. If he was a contract lawyer, he was hired by somebody to do those deals. Yes, he may have done those $8 billion deals, but he was hired by a business to do those deals, which is fair enough. I'm not discrediting the guy. He's a smart guy. I've watched some of his videos, and I've started actually reading some of his book. But at the end of the day, he's a lawyer, not a businessman. Right, so that's that. I have questions over why he's actually interested in XRP payments, but that kind of gets away from the way that I'm thinking anyway. The fact is, there is no facts that say that XRP is going to be used in all of these areas. It's just fantasy. It is just fantasy. I mean, I think there's Crypto Glenn that's in the chat. He put an actual bounty out. He put a $1,000, I think it was $1,000 to actually anybody that can actually prove that XRP is going to actually utilize certain things. I'm pretty sure, and nobody came back to him. So fraudulent inducement, Zach, requires facts to have known something before you enter the contract. Now, we can all pretend that we know something. Oh, it's going to have all the derivatives. It's going to have that. But there's no facts that prove that we knew that 100% before we went into the contract. And to be fair, when we bought the tokens, we didn't actually enter a contract. We just bought them on an exchange like every other fucking token. We didn't actually have the 100% proof and knowledge that it was going to be in the derivatives market. It's going to be tokenized assets. To be fair, when most people bought it, probably even Ripple didn't even exist with the RippleNet. Do you see what I'm saying? So the facts for fraudulent inducement fail automatically for 90% of the buyers of XRP.
Well, that's assuming that that they're not going to establish XRP, use XRP, reserve currency, remove our ability to take it. So for us, we're just two guys doing research, and we can't even possibly figure out all of the facts and evidence around this case, discussion, XRP asset. Nobody on the internet making content can have all of the facts and evidence, because we still can't get the Hinman documents in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Like, they're trying to cover up everything. They're trying to cover up anything. So we do not have all of the facts in regards to this discussion, which brings us back to me and you are two guys speculating on the future of this asset, on the future of the U.S. reserve currency status.
Okay, so this is where me and you differ, right? Me and you differ because I'm not going around telling people, waving around an a red envelope, telling people before Christmas that it's £50,000 buyback with clickbait. This is also where me and you differ. I deal with facts. I don't deal with fiction, right? Because and I also don't get in bed with a promotion guy that's going around telling people that this is possible based on nothing. I mean, he's running around using fraudulent inducement with no facts, no figures, no ability to actually prove what he's saying for fraudulent inducement. He's also trying to run around saying the Veritasium court case is actually based on a buyback that the government have said, but we all know it's the $9.6 million that was fined by Veritasium to pay back to its people. We know that that happened, and we know that that happened, and we know that XRP, based on the information that the SEC have given us, have kept it suppressed. So I'm giving people facts, and I'm keeping people down the line of realistic expectations. I mean, I have Parabolic up, I have Glenn up, I have everybody up. I have XRP haters in my lives. I have XRP maxis in my lives. We talk about it, we get all the facts, and we generate an overall idea of where we're going to be. We do not get ourselves involved with fantasy, because that, to me,
So
the whole buyback is fantasy.
yeah, so basically what you're telling me is that you don't like my red folder and you don't like my speculation, and we differ, which I agree, we differ. I
No, I don't like the fact that just before Christmas you came out with a FOMO approach for XRP. And I don't like the fact that Val Hill Capital don't seem to have any sort of proof behind them. If I was going to be looking at a company that I was going to put my name to, I'd want the best fucking website of that company. Val Hill Capital's website would be shit hot for me. The whole breakdown of the company, I'd want to know more about it, where it's been.
once again, you're ranting and raving and sharing your opinion on people, companies, and that's fine, dude. I love free speech and I love healthy debate. But like, there's a difference between you giving your opinion on Jimmy or on his website, and arguing or basically trying to get to the facts, like you say. So, like, I'm not here to discuss your opinion on, Jimmy or what. I mean, we can talk about it. For me, dude seems pretty legit. I mean, I haven't bound a contract with anything. Jimmy hasn't paid me. You want to, come at me for being a FOMO guy? I was the only influencer that I saw that put out a warning days in advance about the Flare airdrop price dump that was coming. While while
This
while you
this
guys
is
were debating whatever you guys were debating and figuring out, I'm the only one that put out that warning. Did anybody else
see,
put out that warning?
see, Zach. This is where I do like your content. This is where there are certain things that I'm still waiting for half the information. Like,
Respect.
you know, about the songbird, the flare, everything else. Mate, I've been watching you for ages. I've been watching you for ages. There is no doubt about what I'm actually talking about here. The problem I've got is the fact that this buyback shit, it is just that. It's bullshit. It is just bullshit. And I
Well,
don't care the fact that you probably don't like the fact that I'm not liking Jimmy or whoever the hell you call him. It's just, as an investor, if I'm going to put my freaking money into something, and this guy is there running around saying 50k buyback, 50k buyback, right, and he's going around all YouTube, getting all the influencers and everybody else screaming, I would make sure that my house is fucking not like unbuilt. I'd make sure my my website was shit. I'd make sure that people were able to find out more information about me. I'd be able to make sure that investors would actually see where they're trying to take this rather than speculate. Because the problem at the moment is everyone's saying we're speculating on XRP. We've now got to speculate on Val Hill. We've got to speculate where you're going on this. We've got to speculate where all the influencers are actually trying to take this buyback, because there's no facts. There's no actual straightforward information for us to go find. We're having to go search for it. And the normal rule of thumb is if you have to go search for shit, it's shady as shit.
well, like I said, in this particular case, they're hiding the facts and all of the evidence. We're trying to get it out and figure out just how corrupt our SEC has been acting. See, here in America, we're trying to take our country back. And you understand that we have the reserve currency status, we're losing it, and instead of just sitting back and getting wiped out like the rest of the middle class, I put out my recession to-do list at the beginning of the year, trying to make sure that everyone was prepared, never trying to get people to FOMO in to digital assets. But then on the same front, I'm speaking out and I'm talking about the corruption. Like I said, we're trying to take our country back, and there's two separate cases. Damages done to XRP holders and Ripple, Brad and Chris by the SEC. And then there's a whole other bigger case, which is us trying to get our country back. Our country has been hijacked by private central bankers and other government entities that have sold us out. And so that's why we're having this conversation. If you want to say that the $50,000 claim is BS and you don't like it, share your opinion. That's fine. There's other people that are coming up with that valuation. There's thousands of different price predictions for XRP on the internet, right?
Okay,
As far as what I have done, I have been one of the most transparent in the space. I think you can agree with that.
So there's 2 points there. The compensation for the court case and everything else, right? If you take into the fact of 2014 to 2019, Brad and Chris kept the XRP token at that price all the way through, then the compensation for the price of everything else for XRP while it's been in the court case, they would have kept it going for that price all the way through the court case. They would have done that. So the compensation, again, being claimed back from the government shouldn't be actually at the SEC's hands, because we've already proven that it's actually at Ripple's hands. So claiming compensation for the price of the token is out the window, just based on pure facts, right? Secondly, I'm not being funny, Zach. 2019, XRP Arcadia, they did a kind of review on wallets. America owns roughly just under 50% of the wallets of XRP, right? So if you guys aren't supposed to own XRP, but you own XRP, you have 50% of the XRP itself, right? Now, if they do this buyback and everything else, what does the rest of the world do? The rest of the world own 50% of XRP. Now, we will be forced to what? Give back our tokens based on a US law. How does it work? Because at the end of the day, you are aiming all of this at the US, right? But you forget it. And when you talk about the debt and everything else in the US, you've got trillions of dollars of debt. You haven't gone into austerity measures yet as a country. There are plenty of methodologies in which your country can actually get themselves out of this debt, but you prove to not want to do this just yet because you're fronting two wars. You're fronting on the China Seas and you're fronting on the Ukraine wars. If you go into austerity measures now, you are fucked on both war fronts. So there's a reason why your country hasn't gone into austerity, but you have options still. Your government hasn't done any of these options. So to say the dollar is dead, to say that the country is dead, to say all of this is dead, it's bullshit in general, because your government hasn't actually taken the time to actually deal with the budget. They're currently fighting wars. They're trying to get the countries, and they're policing the world right now. So if your government takes a step back, then starts looking at its budget and puts austerity measures in, maybe it can look after itself. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. When you actually look at XRP and you're talking about XRP token, you're saying you're doing it for the XRP community, you're only talking to 50% of the actual community, Zach.
Same entities are in our country as in yours, and there are global agreements that have been reached which establish reserve currency status. That's why this proposal would hypothetically probably go to the IMF as well, is going to be included. And as you're aware, the SDR, special drawing rights of the IMF, your British pound, where you're located, your British pound is one of the currencies that makes up the basket of the SDR. And so, yeah, I mean, we're all involved in this. Every single country is basically up against the same group of people, actually. So, yeah, I mean, we are coming up with a claim. We're just the Americans doing our thing, but we did it 250 years ago. I'd love to save our country once again. But again, and I agree with you on all your points about us not, the probability and the success of this deal going through and my perfect world scenario playing out are unlikely. And like I continue to say, I'm hopeful as an American that we don't even get a buyback. I don't care about a buyback, dude. I really don't. What I want is I want to see my Treasury Department, which is supposed to issue our currency and control monetary supply and issue the notes. I want to see my Treasury Department. In my perfect world, they would build out a gold-backed or an asset-backed CBDC built on the XRP ledger, and they would cut a deal with Ripple for some of that escrow. Ripple would give them 5 billion XRP, 10 billion XRP. That's what I would love to see. The probability and reality of that happening are next to none, probably, or maybe not. I mean, that's speculation. But once again, I mean, the attacks at the group as being nefarious, and there's not any nefarious activities that I see going on behind the scenes in the committee and all of that. Like, I'm just not seeing that. And I would just argue that we have the same entities that we're working against. I'm in the United States. You there are
No,
in Great
I'm
Britain.
sorry. My government don't give a crap about XRP. They are not watching XRP. They have allowed Ripple.
Well,
Brad Garlinghouse has actually shook hands with Rishi Sunak and handed over a white paper. And the white paper from Ripple actually declared that he wants to actually look into the tokens being of three type class assets, which is quite similar to what the Basel documents come out with. There's a difference between my government and your government, right? I can buy XRP, I can share XRP. I am not actually being tortured or hurt by or offended by or anything to do with this court case. In actual fact, if you think about how Ripple's acting, it's gone around the world doing what it wants to do and gone F you to the SEC.
yeah,
Because
no, that's
at the
great.
end of
That's
the day,
great for Ripple. That's great for your country. I'm
exactly.
very happy for you guys that you have that. And I'm
We,
very happy
but
that the Bank of
we are not.
England.
So this is the reason why I'm saying Val Hill Capital have taken it amongst themselves to talk on my behalf, to talk on 50% of your community's behalf, to talk on our behalf without actually talking to us. And the thing is,
if you don't want to be represented by them, they don't care to represent you. They're not forcing you to do anything. They're representing themselves. They're representing the XRP holders that were damaged here in the United States. And I'm sure that they would love to help anybody else out the world that wants to help establish a president in their country. But like you said, I mean, your Bank of England piloted and worked with Ripple back in 2018. And that's,
yep,
great. Congratulations. I wish that my country was moving ahead like yours.
it's
But
one of the reasons why I invested. It's one of the reasons why I actually do still like XRP, despite all of this shit that's going on right now. And I don't really care to actually. I just don't. Zach, come on, mate, come on. That was just utter shite before Christmas, wasn't it? Why do we need a buyback facility? Why do we need a fair value?
No, because I really want to hone in on that assertion that you're making. I have the largest following, probably, this is just my speculation. I have one of the largest followings in crypto community that is never taken a paid sponsorship or promotion. So I have no agenda, right? And I want people to be clear on that, because I wasn't trying to get anybody to FOMO in. I'm never trying to pump my bags. I've never done a paid promotion, literally,
You can't
with
pump
over
your bags on XRP.
370,000, followers on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. And I'm, have no future plans of doing any paid promotion or sponsorships. And all the offers that come in all the time. So I'm just coming at it with no agenda. And then for 2 years, and you can ask my long-term followers, my community, for 2 years, I've been talking about stocking up on essentials, food, riding out the recession that was coming, riding out the crypto bear market that I called back in November of 2021.
I think everybody was calling that, Zach. Everyone was calling the crypto winter. Everybody was calling the crypto winter months beforehand.
And it came, and we were prepared. And with the Flare airdrop, I predicted that the price was going to get volatile and dump, and that happened. I didn't see anybody else putting out that warning. So when you make claims that I'm misleading, trying to get people to FOMO in, that's not me. And I don't speak for the rest of the XRP army and content creators. I don't endorse what any of them say, but you can't come and attack me, one of the most transparent in the space.
That photo wasn't very transparent, though, was it? That photo wasn't very transparent at all. And then the fact that you played on it as well, and you said the red folder, Zach, the red folder wasn't very transparent.
It's having some fun. It's called having fun.
Okay.
Classified documents.
Did you write that on the video? Did you write that on the video and say, by the way, this is all bullshit. Please do not take what I'm saying as fact? Did you write that on the video, or did you just wait for everybody to join your live to find?
But it's not all bullshit. Your opinion is, but
my opinion is bullshit.
No, no,
that's
no.
fair point. No, yeah, no, you're allowed your opinion as well, mate.
Your
But
opinion of my red folder in my video is BS. That's what I'm saying. Your opinion of me was it's BS. That's your opinion.
people watch these videos. They scroll through, they watch them. Not everybody can be asked to actually join lives and listen to lives and listen to people. So if you say like 30% of the actual view, no, let's say 10% of the actual viewers of that video are actually people that go into your lives. You can do the analysis work because you can actually go look at how much is up from your FYP and how much is from your followers, right? It's that kind of video. If you go and have a look to see how many came onto your video of that red folder and look at the FYP, and then deduce the fact that 75% of them might have read that, and then let's just say 5% of them bought in on that 75%, right? 5%. So therefore, you're responsible now for 5% of FYP people on TikTok that haven't done their own fucking research, that believe in you, trust in you, see the amount of followers, they'd have FOMO'd in at Christmas and they'd have lost about a couple of hundred, couple of grand. They'd have lost information. So yes, there is a reason why I say those sort of videos, those sort of clickbait videos, they need to have the understanding written on there that says this is a joke, this is bullshit, this is just me just having a laugh, because then people will understand. That's irresponsible. That was irresponsible.
I agree that I am effective at the TikTok platform. I agree. I know how to trigger the algorithm. I know how to get views. I agree. When people watch my content, though, when they watch my live streams that I do multiple weeks, every multiple days per week, they get an understanding of where I'm coming from. No BS, straightforward, most transparent with all my moves. I've put my percentages of what I hold out for everyone to see. So complete transparency. And if people get offended by a red folder, good
We're
luck,
not
God
offended.
bless.
We're not offended. I tell you what, where I got offended, where I got offended was I went to town on that red folder because I called bullshit straight off the bat off that red folder, and I went to town on that. And instead of you coming, and yeah, you came in a couple of lives, but then when I actually popped into your lives, I was called a troll, I was called a hater, I was called all of these things because I didn't believe in what you believed in. But instead, I actually do believe in what you believe in the token, in the asset, in the actual technology class. I believe in those technology classes, but I just don't believe in the bullshit. But I was offended by that actual outcome of you calling
Some
me.
people believe in God, some people don't.
Well, that again is not bullshit. That's their own personal belief, and I wouldn't actually hold any sort of religion purpose against them. But I wouldn't call them trolls. I wouldn't call them haters. See, there's a difference. There's a troll that comes to attack you personally, or there's somebody that has a difference of opinion to you and attacks your opinion.
I'm sorry if some of the people that follow me, made some mean comments. I'm sorry if that happened.
No, it was you. It was fucking you. That you actually called us out like on your live and called us trolls and haters because we didn't believe in the buyback with Jimmy Vallee.
No. I just get a lot of trolls and haters. It's
It's
not
just
that. See,
go
here's
for it.
the thing. All we're doing is sharing our beliefs and our opinions. Right? We both say not financial advice, guys, right? But we're
Oh,
sharing our
100%.
beliefs and our opinions based off of the facts and the research. And if I want to put mine in a red folder and act like it's some classified documents, golly, for those that have been around, I think understood, kind of what I was doing. But for a new person, I could see how, okay, what the hell is this guy got? Is this, crazy? But then they come and they read further, they pull up to my conversation and my live streams where I explain what the proposal is about. I explain it all. I don't hide anything. I print off the documents as Jimmy sends them to me and I read them off for everyone to see. And I'm just trying to
Don't
educate
waste your
people.
fucking paper, mate. Don't print that shit off. It's worthless. Empty your folder, shred it, recycle it. It is pointless printing that crap off. I'm
Well,
sorry.
what he
It,
what I've
it
been
is.
sharing is like in this conversation, this is another thing. Nobody else in the space was talking about this
Don't waste your ink.
before Jimmy brought up Article 12 of the take free rule of the UCC. Nobody was talking about that. So Jimmy shared that with the committee, and then I was one of the first to actually put it out there in the public on a platform, and that is helping to grow the conversation. And that's what I mean is like I just want to help move the conversation forward. And to me, that's everyone that's invested in digital assets understanding their rights. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with the 50K buyback. It has to do with understanding your rights as a digital asset investor. That's important and relevant to everyone.
So here's where I would have done this, Zach. This is where me and you again differ. Hi, 300,000 followers and also everybody on XRP. I have been invited to a committee with a company called Val Hill Capital. I expect you to do your own research. They are looking into a buyback proposal. I'm currently not 100% into this buyback proposal just yet. I'm going to wait until I figure it out. And I just want you guys to actually go away and do your own fucking research. And I want to find out more about the buyback. It's going to be 50,000 to 85,000, but I'm not fully endorsing this yet. I just want to make sure that everybody is aware this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, and this is the people I'm going to be talking to. That is more respectful to the community and to everybody around you. They would have respected you for that approach, not waving a fucking red folder, 50,000 buyback clickbait shit. People have more respect for you than that, Zach. We all understand, mate. You started off from basic beginnings, mate. We all understand the fact that you've got landscaping business. We all understand the fact that you're trying to move your landscaping business into the next sort of realm with technological business. We all understand you're doing gold, silver. We respect that. We see that. We do see that. So we're not sitting there going, "Oh, this guy's a fucking idiot." But I tell you what, I called you a fucking idiot when I saw that red folder. You had a better approach and more
Listen,
of a responsibility, mate.
if maybe I'll put up a Twitter vote, and if enough people are offended by my red folder, maybe I'll switch it to I'll switch it to one of these. Would this be less offensive? I mean, come on, like
No,
that.
the
Any
red folder. If that's the only thing you're taking away from this,
No, here's the
if
thing.
that's
If that all that stuff that you said really kind of goes without saying, but obviously we say that often. This is not financial advice. We put out disclaimers, but any grown adult that watched those videos would understand that I wasn't saying the buyback, excuse me, was a guaranteed thing to happen. And like, go to the bank tomorrow, tell them that your XRP is worth 50 grand and take out a loan against it. Like, I wasn't telling people that it was a for sure thing. When I waved my red folder, brought up the proposal, and brought up the committee, it was just a new thing that I was doing. And, I wanted to make people aware of it. Like,
no, it's good. It's good, and I'm glad that you made people aware. It's just the way in which you actually did that was a bit irresponsible, especially before Christmas. And to be honest with you, that live that you did with Valhill, that was soft. That was soft. We
well, I
wanted
asked them
questions. We wanted
directly.
questions. You let the guy talk for like 40 minutes solid without interruption. By the way, bud, nice suit. You did look classy in your suit. I'll give you that. It's a good suit. It's a good
Appreciate
suit.
that. That's a good
But
interviewer, right? I let him talk. That's what you're supposed to do, I thought. But I know what
too
you mean.
long, though, mate. Too long. Too long.
Well,
There should have been some direct questions aimed at that guy straight off. Who the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you from? Why are you so interested in 50,000 and higher? What is your main base of operations? Why are you actually doing this? What are you getting out of it? What are you
yeah.
getting out of it? And why do you class yourself as an investor when you're talking on YouTube channels, but then your actual company is called a paid sponsorship promotion system? What the hell is Delta Wave Energy? How did you give it $50 million evaluation and put it into the amicus brief? There were so many questions that guy literally just got allowed to speak for 2 hours and say, fuck all.
Well, I asked him directly on the valuation how he came up with that. I don't know if you caught that part, but that was a direct question. I asked them why are you guys assuming that XRP is going to move all the money? I directly asked them, because in the valuation, they're assuming that XRP is going to move all the money, and that's how it's 50K. That was a direct question, and he answered it. He said the valuation committee and how they've come up with it is like on the high end. Let's assume best case scenario. And then, like I said, you let the counterparty or whoever you're arguing this against bring you back down to the actual price, whatever that may be. And
See,
so that was
that,
one of
that's
the direct
that's
questions,
that's
but I didn't I didn't have as much time as I wanted to because we talked for like 2 hours. I wanted to go more in on his background because, like I said, he's done really big deals. He's been part of massive transaction, and he's got like he was considered actually one of the top lawyers in the country at one point. And so he's got a lot on his resume. I just didn't have the time to talk about it. But he's going to be coming back onto my show, and we're going to be really pointed and focused on the terms and the proposal, going through, like, breaking down how it would actually occur if it did proceed forward and actually happen. So, I encourage everyone to tune in, because me and Jimmy are going to do it again, and we're going to go in on the proposal and what it's all about and more. And shoot me your questions, and I'll get them asked.
It's simple. Who the fuck are you? And why do you think you can speak for the rest of the world? Why are you actually doing this? What is your main gain? Because to me, they're just promoting that like on the amicus brief, there was no need to bring in Delta Wave Energy. There was no need to bring in a $50 million evaluation for a company that doesn't exist.
Promotion is part of the game. Promotion is part of the game, brother.
Exactly. So if you think about this, then they're just using the XRP community. If promotion is part of the game, then they're just using the XRP community for the gains, right?
Well, there's give and take. So people that use the XRP ledger are bringing more adoption. They're bringing more utility. That's what we want to see. That's why, we want people like Jimmy to be building and focusing on using the XRP ledger. That's good. That's what we want.
There's like 5 people in that company, Zach. And they go around bragging. They go around bragging that the fact that they buy the petrol, they buy the food, they buy the groceries. The top execs are doing this, but then, like, when you actually look into the company itself, it's like 3 or 4 fucking people that are using XRP tokens, and God knows how he's paying for gas, because that's not even possible unless he's using a different methodology, right? So there's ways and means that they can actually do this, but to go out and start bullshitting, because that to me is all this is. It's just promotional bullshit. And they're actually running on the coattails of the XRP community to try and gain popularity and familiarity with a big audience of people. And then when they start plugging in their actual other promotional stuff, that's what I'm saying, Zach. You may not get paid for this, but you are being used. That's what it feels like to us. The XRP community is actually seeing that side of things as well. When we actually deep dive Val Hill, we are feeling like every time we look at XRP airdrop, every time we see everything to do with the XRP, it just feels like every other token is using the XRP community because they know how big it is.
Well, to that point, who's doing the deep dive on Dark Horse? Like, who's doing the deep dive on your credentials, right? Like, we can look into everybody.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm one guy. I don't own a company. I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm easy to spot. I'm an analyst, I'm a developer, and I'm also now a consultant. I do not bring my actual personal job into this. I'm not trying to sell anything. Don't tell anything. But I'm one guy, and you can easily find me. And if anybody wants to actually know who I am, I'll send them my LinkedIn profile. They can actually go look at my credentials themselves. There's a difference.
You seem like a smart guy. I'm just saying, if we want to attack Jimmy on who he is, what his business is about, I can't speak on behalf of Jimmy. From what I've gathered, what the conversations that I've had many conversations with Jimmy privately. He seems like a very genuine guy. Is he a business guy? Does he have his own incentives? Absolutely, but he believes in America and he believes in the XRP ledger. That's someone that I'll work with, I don't feel like I'm being used or, extorted in any way. I'm not being paid or compensated in any way. For me, if I thought it was a waste of time, I wouldn't be having the conversation with my audience. I respect their time and their knowledge and understanding of the space, but there are parts of the conversation that are relevant and they actually relate to all digital asset investors, like I said. So that's why I'm having the conversation on my platform, is because I think that my audience can get something from it.
Do you know what? There's a guy that's just messaged me, and he's just literally raised a good point. Zach, they don't care if it fails. They can walk away. They can walk away. Whereas you've been in the space a lot longer than me. You are, as you said, the OG of XRP, right? This is your own self-proclamation, right?
I didn't say that, no.
but you kind of are, right?
No. No, no, no.
When you talk about your users and your YouTube, and you talk about the fact you've been in the space a lot longer, and you're the only one that hasn't been trying to shield or been paid.
That's all
This,
I've said, is that I'm the only
this
one that hasn't done paid promotions and
but
sponsorships.
this guy. If it fails and the buyback doesn't come through and everything else, he's just going to leave you guys. Now, I like digital perspectives. I like Coach JV. I like yourself. There's Crypto Lulu. We won't go there. But that you guys are all in on this. That you guys are all in on this. But I would hate the fact that when this all comes out and the Securities Exchange Commission actually fines Ripple, and then the fair value comes in, and then people are just going to be like, Zach, where's your red folder now? Where's the 50,000? Where's this? Where's that? And they're compiling at you. And they're compiling at you because
I'll always have haters.
for 3 or 4 years, mate, you've been sitting there on this this stream telling people to prepare. You've been an option 3 guy, 10,000, and then if it's been suppressed at 35 to 45, and then everybody has to sell it back at 35 to 45 for 5 years. Some of these guys that have been following you have been holding these tokens while it has been the shittest coin to invest in. It has been, because it's done nothing. It's done nothing. This is the reason why it gets called a shitcoin. So these guys have held it on you. What you're saying is going to come. It's going to come next year. It's going to come next year. It's going to come next year, and then it's going to turn to nothing. There's a lot of people that are going to come at you. You told me to hold it. You told me to hold it. Are you not worried about that?
No, I'm not worried about that. I've only been involved in the committee for like 2-3 months now that it's been going on, right? So I've only been talking about, well, I actually talked about it last year. Last year I did talk about it when it was initially proposed and came out. And I was kind of taking the conversation to the same place that I'm taking it now, which is just about resetting the currency and the debt. But if anybody is mistaken in thinking that I'm putting my whole reputation and belief that the buyback is 100% going to happen, they are mistaken, and they haven't tuned in enough or listened to me enough, because many times I have explained here that I don't think there's a very good chance that this proposal will go through, but I explain why I'm having the conversation regardless. So I'm not worried about that. I will always have haters and people that want to come at me for something, but I think that in the end, we will be historically correct in some of our speculation about XRP. And I continue to say that even if we're some way right about XRP, it's a life-changing opportunity. So we will, the positive impact that we're having, even while XRP is being stalled out, the amount of people that tell me that I've helped change their mind, that I've helped them be more knowledgeable about digital assets, is thousands of people. So we're having much more of a positive impact than we are the negative people that want to think that they can come at me for something. There's nothing that they can come at me for, because all I've ever done is shared my opinion, my knowledge, and how I'm investing. Not financial advice, how I'm investing. One of the most transparent in the space.
I get that, buddy. I get that. But what you're forgetting is that your actual community that you talk about, the XRP community, I'm going to give you some facts. This is what I was trying to get you to have a look at on your live the other day. 2019, they did an XRP Arcade, did a demographic of the XRP community. Well, 47.5% of the actual XRP holders are married, and they're investing their marriage money, their shared money into XRP. Right, the educational level of your XRP community is, most of it is actually in the trade. They did primary, they did no education, and they've got some sort of college degree. They're at high school, like 45-50%. They're pretty low level education. The rest of them are quite high level, right? But it's the one that I really want you to actually understand. The household earnings of people in XRP, most of them are below 59,000 a year.
Yeah.
So the demographics of these people are low earners, low education, and probably married and risking everything that they have on XRP. And here's another stat for you that they found in this actual demographic. 43% of all invested in XRP learned about it from social media.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you're demeaning the XRP community.
No, 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 not at all. I'm actually saying that there's a lot of people with no
You're
education in the crypto space, no
yeah.
education in the crypto space, no ability to probably actually self-fund themselves for 5 or 6 years while holding on to a token that they believe are going to go to an option three, which is 10 to 50 to, and then you've got this 50K buyback. And then when you think about the fact that 43.9% is actually learnt this on social media, and then you sit there and you joke about a clickbait video with a red envelope before Christmas, and then you look at the demographics of this, and then when you look at the demographics of this, you're basically looking at the XRP community, and mate, it's about educating, not actually clickbaiting. That's
Right.
the way I'm looking at this.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think that I provide a lot of education. I think that what you just assumed, though, is that the XRP community is low education, low income, and can't do
That's
their
a
own
good
research for
spin.
themselves and
That's a good,
stupid.
no, 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 no. That's a good
That's
spin. I'm giving you the demographics that is on a website right now. I'm
right.
giving you demographics, and that's where I'm coming from this.
And then you're
But
leading into they can't think for themselves. They watch your videos and think, whatever
no,
you're asserting.
okay, that's a good spin. That is a good spin. So the way that I'm actually looking at
What's
this
being
is the
spun?
actual the way that you're actually twisting this to make it look like as if I'm trying to call the XRP community dumb as fuck. That's what you're trying to spin this as, right? But
Yeah.
no, I'm not. The actual demographics of this is actually the fact that we're only 1% of the actual population. And to be honest with you, do your own fucking research is one of the biggest things. But the thing is that if people are just getting in and FOMOing in based on a red envelope, you can kind
Well,
of
let's
see
just
why.
cut to the issue. It's the same deal for all of cryptocurrencies. If you pulled up those demographics, it's the same thing for all of crypto. And that's why it is so important, like you said, that we are educating, because people, have a life-changing opportunity here. So it's up to us to educate them on it. So yeah, you'd pull up the same demographics for all of crypto. Dude, people are stupid with their money. That has nothing to do with my message. My message is about educating people so that they can be better with money.
It's all there, Zach. It's all there.
Yeah, so you'd see something similar for the rest of crypto. So same point applies. 40% of people figure it out from social media. I mean, it's all social media. We are the media, you know? And like you said, you really don't have many issues with me, I don't feel like. You have issues with the rest of the XRP community, but you're kind of tying back in and including me, and you're just mad at me for my red folder, which, like I said, we're always going to offend
No.
some people some way.
Is that what you take from this? Is that all you take from this? Is the fact that I'm mad at red folder?
Well, I
The,
mean,
the fact that we're looking at the red folder and calling it absolute bullshit from the day dot, and you think that we're
well,
just mad at you. We're actually mad at becoming the laughing stock of the XRP community. That's what we're mad at. We're mad at being used. We're mad at being looked at as an asset, because that's what the XRP community is. It's an asset to be used. Every single flare drop, every single songbird token, every single Korean token, every single
then
sologenic airdrop, they're all aimed at the XRP community. For what reason?
then sell your XRP and make your page an XRP hate content page. Like, okay, like drop your XRP and just make XRP hate content. It
So,
does better
so
than all the other
do you know
crypto
what? I
videos.
used to get this argument with my ex-girlfriend, right? If I didn't like something, just leave, right? If I didn't like something, just leave. That's the ultimate answer for any sort of argument question. If you don't like what's fucking happening, just leave. Instead of sitting around trying to make it better, try and actually improve the facts and try and get the knowledge out there, just fucking leave, right?
Well, I
That's
don't
that's the
agree.
ultimate argument answer to anybody that actually gets to the end of the ability to debate things. If you don't like it,
Well,
leave.
you have made an underlying assertion that the XRP community is stupid, low income, and can't think for themselves. I don't agree on that claim. And so that is when we get to an end of a conversation and a debate, because you literally just asserted the XRP community is stupid, low income, uneducated, and can't think for themselves. And it's your fault that they are
That's
stupid with their money. That's what you just asserted.
No, I read the demographics. I read the demographics out there. And I said to you, I let you understand the demographics of the community in which that you're preaching to.
Yeah.
And I wasn't asserting anything. I was reading facts. And the
Facts.
thing is that
No education.
if you look at the information that I provide, all I do is facts, educate, try and drive forward, teach people the crypto space. As I'm learning too, Zach, I'm learning new stuff as well. Every day I'm learning something new. Every goddamn day. I'm not perfect. I am not 100% accurate on everything, but every day I'll deep dive, I'll change, I'll maneuver, and I'll adopt. Whereas with yourself, you seem to be stuck. You seem to be stuck in this whole position of a fact. And every time you get to the end of the year and you're having to readjust your time calendar for where XRP is going to be, that's because you've been stuck for like the last 2 years.
Well, we've been in a stage. Well, we've been in a lawsuit that has us stalled. That's circumstances that are outside of our control. So yeah, timeline has been extended. I've been wrong about the time. I thought XRP was going to moon back in 2018, 2019 when I first got into it. So yeah, I mean, I've been wrong about the timeline.
But the thing is, mate, is okay. So let's go actual back to 2014 to 2019 with the market makers, where the Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson was actually utilizing the market makers. Do you agree that they were using market makers to sell their XRP tokens at the start to keep the price down? Yes. So market making.
No, not to keep the price down, to keep the price stable.
So if we agree that for 2014 to 2019, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson was keeping making the market makers keep this price stable all the way through it, why do you think they'd stop doing that during the court case?
Back in 2019, they started only selling XRP to on-demand liquidity partners. So that's how they've changed who they're selling to. That's what they've done during the lawsuit, though. But I'm not at Ripple. I can't speak. I try to speculate, but yeah, we know for a fact, though, that since 2019, the XRP from escrow has only gone to institutions that are using ODL. Yeah, so.
And what year was the actual court case brought against Ripple?
2020.
It was 2020, right? And do you think
they
had a heads
made that
up?
change before the lawsuit?
Do you think they had a heads up that the lawsuit was coming because they were being deep dived by the SEC before 2020, right? They literally in 2019 were opening their books to the SEC to be able to then bring the court case against them in 2020. So we can coincide 2019, the price rise, the difference in traction by Ripple itself, to coincide with the fact that the SEC were looking into the hood at that time period in 2019. So they stopped doing all of this stuff while it was running through to the lawsuit itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we get to the lawsuit, so where is the compensation coming from, Zach?
Well, once again, the counterparties, basically the people that this proposal is being sent to, is different from the SEC versus Ripple loss. I mean, it's part of it, but like I said, once again, it's just trying to go at Ripple's actions. I think they've been righteous custodians of the escrow and of what they've done with the XRP is the proper thing. In 2019, they started only selling it to their on-demand liquidity partners. And for the last 3 years, they basically returned the escrow back into the escrow, about 70% of it, and they sell the rest off to their on-demand liquidity partners. So they're basically just only funding XRP ecosystem on-demand liquidity adoption. And yes, they do use some of that money to fund their operations. But in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. XRP is an asset that they own. They can sell that property and they can use the funds from that property sale to fund their business. There's nothing wrong with that.
So when we actually look at what they've actually done, right? Let's think about this logically. 2014, 2015, they needed to find a reason for XRP to exist. It was originally called in totally two different token names. They needed to create a reason, so they created Xspring. Then from Xspring, they got everybody out there. They paid a load of marketeers and everything else to create future usability for XRP. They didn't have to actually build anything. They didn't have to actually say anything. They just need to go out there and tell people that it could do this, could do that. based on future abilities of XRP. Didn't have to, and they got paid for doing that. 2014, 2015, 2016. Then they start building RippleNet, and David Schwartz comes on board and becomes the CTO. And then we actually start looking at the fact in 2018, 2019. Then they start realizing the SEC are looking at them. But Chris Larson's already got the actual ability to fund this war chest. By that time, everybody's already bought in. The token is at a good stable value. They've got good liquidity in it. They've got good market availability in it. They've got the money. They don't need retail in this token anymore. So what they do is they know that the SEC are coming for them. So in 2019, what do? They change tactics. The SEC are looking under the hood. 2020, what they do then is they start actually buying back off the open market to lower their actual exposure to the retail market. So the buyback theory that you're talking about here is the actual the very fund, right? So when you actually think about how their actual actions are being played out, the buyback is actually allowing them to take money out of the market that they're going to have to pay back to people. So they actually had attraction for 2019, 2020. And all this time, people are going around saying that it's 10,000, 100,000, 190 million. I mean, fuck me. I got sent a video the other day that somebody actually went out and said XRP's worth $5.4 million. I actually got sent that video.
Right.
There is so much crap out there, and yet we've got nobody countering this.
Once again, you got to be clear. So there's a Ripple versus SEC lawsuit underway. It includes Brad and Chris. But then this proposal is a separate proposal deal. So the buyback committee has a separate proposal deal that's separate from whatever deal Ripple is going to work out with the SEC. So you have two separate deals. You know, that's a lawsuit against Ripple, Chris and Brad for selling unregistered securities. And then the buyback committee with Jimmy is a proposal that will be sent to the Federal Reserve, Treasury Department, IMF, and whoever else applies. So it's two separate transactions, two separate deals, two separate court cases.
Just out of interest, do you know when you actually step back and look at this, do you not feel that what Jimmy that whole buyback thing is stupid? Does anything in here say this is actually stupid?
So it's similar to, like, people have talked about like a class action lawsuit being filed for XRP holders, and John Deaton's kind of representing XRP holders in the case, right? But people have talked about a separate class action lawsuit being filed. This is kind of like a run up to it. Like, this is trying to be nice before a class action lawsuit would get filed. This is like, hey, let's make right what had been done wrong to XRP investors, and let's fix that.
So it's a lawsuit.
Class action lawsuit for damages. It's a nice approach, really. It's reaching across the table trying to get a deal on a proposal done. The likelihood of it is very unlikely. I will admit that. Yeah, but you know, the damages done to XRP holders is very clear. There was about 15 billion of market cap that was wiped out after the SEC filed the lawsuit. So that's $15 billion that was wiped out, you know, of the market cap right after that lawsuit.
But do you not see? I mean, yeah, obviously, when you go into a lawsuit itself, there is going to be a difference in value because people are not going to want to invest in it. So there is going to be an actual market drop in there. I mean, it'd be interesting to see who actually sold when they went into the actual court case. But the problem I've got, right, is the way that you're wording it is a buyback, then it becomes an insurance, then it becomes a claim for fair value, then it becomes something totally different. Now, the way you're wording it is it's an actual lawsuit.
No, it could be. It's in the works. Remember, it's just in the works. So this is like, it's nothing secretive. It's really, everything that's being done is really being put out in the open. Like, there's not really anything that's being kept confidential other than like a few people work at banks and stuff, and they don't want their, you know, identity tied to it. So that's the only confidential part. As far as everything that the committee's working on, it's pretty much all out in the open. And Jimmy and everyone else is like open to us just sharing everything that's being worked on. But this is in the works, right?
So so Zach, is it a security or isn't it? Because if it's a security, you can claim against securities. If it's not a
I don't believe it's
security,
security. I don't believe it
you
is.
can't claim against money. You can't claim a compensation against the dollar. You can't claim against the euro. You can't claim against the
Well,
pound. But you can claim against securities. So which one are we?
well, if we did a buyback deal, it wouldn't be compensation. It would be a proposed transaction and just a trade of property, right? It'd be you're going to pay me back in whatever we do the deal for, you know, U.S. dollars, new CBDC backed by gold, whatever the proposal wants to get paid in, and we're going to give you our XRP compensation. We don't have to give anything up in that case. Like if we file a class action lawsuit, I'm not a lawyer, but from my understanding, they would be compensating us for the damages done. We wouldn't be having to give up anything, right? So there's two separate ways that could be approached.
But the damage was done by Ripple themselves in 2014 to 2019. They kept the price at a stable level. They did that themselves, and then they went into a court case, and then it's still been kept at a stable level. And
Well,
even now, while this pump is going on, what's XRP done? We went up to 36 and come down, whereas everybody else was making massive gains. Are you telling me that there's no stability happening here as well? Everybody else is gaining. So while this is going on, the compensation that you're claiming for, and to be fair, if you actually are claiming compensation, then it's a common marketplace. See, I think that personally, when we come out of this court case, either Ripple will have made the SEC redefine the Howey test and actually add digital assets to it. They'll be forced to by Congress, or they'll just keep using the Howey test as it is and they'll lose, right? But either way, right, they are securities. They are securities. Every single goddamn token that isn't Bitcoin is a goddamn security. It's just not defined that way, Zach. The actual Howey test is actually based on real estate and shared services. That's the reason why Ripple are fighting this. Ripple are fighting this Howey case because of Blue Sky. Now, Blue Sky states that it's crystallizing it, right?
You should go work for the SEC.
Because you've got to be fucking dumb to not see that every single token
hold up.
a security.
The argument that you just made would be like saying that because Saudi Aramco controls the price of oil because they have so much of the supply, makes oil a security. Oil is a commodity, right? It can be traded or sold off in a deal as a security packaged up, but oil, the commodity itself, right, is just that. It's a commodity. Just because Saudi Aramco has the most of it, or Shell BP controls the supply and they move the market, does not make it a security.
I've got an easy answer to that. When Saudi Arabia dug oil out of the ground, guess what it was? It was fucking oil. It was oil. Do you know what XRP was when it came out the ground? It was another token altogether. Do you know what? They morphed it, changed it. They created a use for it after the fact they created it. Oil, when it came out the ground, was oil. When this token was minted, it was something totally goddamn different. They created They gave out XRP tokens originally to everybody and anyone with Xpring to generate a use for the token. Oil, when it came out the ground, was oil. It was a commodity. XRP was nothing. It had no use, no ability for it to actually be used. They generated a use case for it and converted the use case into a consumable by FinCEN in 2015 to be virtual currency. So by 2015, they'd created a use for it. But in actual fact, when people invested in XRP at the start, there was nothing. You invested in this token for nothing, which technically makes it a security.
No, because it was usable from day one. And, that's actually a great comparison that you're using there with oil, because there's other products that are made with oil. Like I said, you have the original base commodity, the base thing here of oil, right? And then you have other companies that build all sorts of products with oil-based products, right? Same thing here with XRP. XRP is the main commodity. It's the main currency, right? And then Ripple is creating products on top of using the XRP ledger. And then there's other companies that are building on the XRP ledger and other products.
Oil came out the ground as oil. Oil came out of the ground. No, it didn't.
XRP came
It
out
was
of the
what it's
mind of
called.
Jed McCaleb,
One
David Schwartz,
coin.
and Arthur Brito
No,
as a
it didn't.
better Bitcoin.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No,
Yeah,
it didn't. It came out the ground as one coin or something. Something. I can't remember the actual real name of it, but it came out the ground as something totally different. They renamed it, and then it came out the ground again as Ripple. Then they renamed it again as XRP. They can rename the shit out of it. But I tell you what, they can't rename the shit out of oil. Oil got dug up. It got invested in, and then it got dug up, and it was called oil. When it got crude oil. It's always been oil is oil. So if you're talking about commodity as a commodity, then it's XRP actually has multiple uses. And people are saying it's a virtual currency for the cross-border payment system, but then we've got tokenized assets. We're now going to be looking at the derivatives market, like you keep saying. There's so many different uses for it, right? Exactly like oil.
Well, you got to go back to the beginning, though. Understand that Ripple, the company, has been renamed. There has been a Ripple ledger that goes all the way back to 2004 that was worked on by Ryan Fugger. But in 2012, Jed McCaleb, Arthur Schwartz, David Brito, three guys sat together, put their minds together, and created a better Bitcoin. From the creation of the code and release of that currency, of that token, even though they sent a bunch to themselves, right? From that day, that was a currency, that was a commodity. It was a piece of property that they created and gave to themselves. It was not a security.
Chris Larson sent 9 billion. Chris Larson gave himself 9 billion tokens to fight the SEC. He clearly put that in. He compensated himself.
Yeah, he did, and I'm glad that they did. I think that they deserved all of it.
OpenCoin, thank you in the chat. It was originally called OpenCoin.
No, yeah, Ripple was. So you got to get clear on your understanding of how XRP started. Ripple was OpenCoin, the company, right? But I'm sure you understand, right, that XRP is a separate currency from the company Ripple. You get no share in the profits. There's no commonality with you and Ripple. There's no deal signed. There's no contract signed with you and Ripple. But clearly you think that XRP still meets the Howey test and is a security. Like I said, I think the SEC is desperate for people to help them make that case. So,
well, no.
Send them your LinkedIn.
I tell you what helped them make the case was you guys in a red folder, creating a common market and creating the fact that you've got compensation. How can you compensate against money? You can't compensate against money, Zach. So I'm not making the case. You guys made it for me. And in terms of the actual, the whole joining together to actually put in the fact that I think 1,000 people joined on an amicus brief, and the SEC actually used that against Ripple and said, judging by the fact 75% of all token holders didn't actually join this lawsuit while waiting for the actual outcome for these guys, actually proves a common marketplace. Just by joining together to claim compensation for it.
Is green energy a security sold by Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is, Greta, just because she talks about something makes the green energy a security? I mean, that's what you're asserting, is that if I talk about something, that makes it a security.
Common marketplace. Common marketplace, part 3 of the Howey sentence.
But there's no common marketplace. There's no contract. I'm not selling I'm talking about something. I haven't sold any XRP in ever. I've never sold XRP.
Okay. Simple answer. How much do you reckon XRP is going to get to?
A higher price than what it's trading at today, 35 cents. I think it's going to be more.
So what's your highest prediction that you've actually put out in your videos for the last 2 years?
I don't have enough evidence and enough
say 10,000? Would you say you've told people 10,000?
I've said before, that I do think that 4 and 5 digits is possible.
So you bought a token at 35 cents, but you expect 10,000 off of what? So just by that expectation.
Silver last weekend.
Yeah, I know, for $200. You said.
A higher price.
I was on your live, Zach. I was on your live for $200. But the point I'm trying to make is option 3 is common marketplace based on a third party's actions to provide a speculatory value that is to be provided to the outcome of the owner itself. So if you're going around telling people it's going to go to 10,000, you're speculating on a price value of $10,000 action on a $20 on a 35 cent token. again, the Howey test has failed because of what you guys are pumping out there. $100,000, $1 million tokens is actually fixing their Howey's third sentence.
What you are talking about is what all the other influencers did over the last 2 years that I never partaked in. I never did promotional sponsorship deals. I never got early launchpad tokens before I pumped out things. I never joined the marketing. I was never on the marketing team for any crypto project. So you're talking about shills. There's plenty of them on this
No,
platform.
you don't.
Don't
No,
come at me for being a shill.
you.
The SEC will never have a
I hate
case
to say
against
it.
me.
I hate to say exact. I hate to say exact. But with 300,000 followers and like you said, massive influence on YouTube, just those followers alone, and you saying $10,000 has a big impact on the market. Somebody told me the other day that if somebody with this amount of followers actually said something, they can impact the market by a couple of million. Somebody actually told me that, and that shocked me. Just by somebody saying something with that many followers can impact the crypto market by a couple of million. Either way, it can make a bad point or it can make an increased point. But that's your responsibility. That's you as a person. That's your ability to actually be responsible for the people that you're talking to, right?
You're coming at the most transparent in the space who's never done any paid promotion sponsorship deals. So if you want to go after people for doing that, I can give you a list of names on this platform. I
No,
wouldn't
no,
recommend
no,
it.
no, no,
You'll
no,
get in
no,
trouble.
no,
You'll get in
no,
trouble
no.
for calling
For
them
the, for
out.
the record, no, for the record, I'm not calling you a shield. I'm saying that you've got a responsibility to understand that that is your impact, but
Sure.
no way, shape, or form did I call you a shield because that's your go-to line. I'm not getting paid. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But the thing is that by the influence that you have, you can influence shit quite easily, buddy. That's how much you've got in your.
That's
Maybe
part of
you
the
realize
puzzle.
it. Maybe you realize it more than what you think, but that is the ability of you as a person. So when we're talking about 10,000 10,000 token, that influence still reaches far and wide. With that amount of followers, buddy, that is truth.
Yeah,
That's all I'm trying to say
I
with
do
that.
believe that it's potential. I do believe that there's a potential for XRP to go to 3, 4, and 5 digits. I've said that forever. And it's not a guarantee. I just think that there's a potential.
Okay. I think the bandwidth calculation itself kind of proves that if you go to a particular level, then all tokens need to be taken off the actual retail market. So could there be an actual reason why Chris Larsen knew that the securities were going to be coming into play, and therefore the forced buyback by the government was actually planned, and therefore the stabilization of XRP was also planned, and therefore the liquidity? I mean, this is so many points that I'm trying to actually go around in my head. Because if it then comes out to be a privatized token by the SEC, then they bought it all back at 35 to 40 cents, right?
Once again, what you're explaining is your version of the conspiracy theory that we're all trying to figure out. We're all trying to figure out this conspiracy theory. You have your version, I have mine. We're trying to figure out, and it's up to the people to determine what the truth is for them. I don't have an
Okay.
agenda. I'm not here to pump my bags. The reason why I've said that XRP has serious potential is because I do believe that it does. And I've always shared that that is just my opinion. I'm not trying to pump my bags. I've never sold XRP. So like I said, for me, I'm not trying to pump my bags, take advantage of anybody. I want people to win. I believe that XRP is a great technology, and it's one of the best cryptocurrency options that we have for solving real problems that are valued in the trillions of dollars. And we can debate the math and the calculations on how high that actually goes. I think that for many of us, if XRP just goes to $10, it's been worth the conversation and the opportunity. But I do think that it has much larger potential.
So, Zach, I feel like we're just going to keep going round and round in circles, mate, because I think we're both kind of setting out where we are, right? So, can we agree that using the very DAO to actually prove a buyback was probably not the best approach to this?
That was a perfect example.
But it was based on fines.
the point of bringing the case up, like I said, was to show that that distribution agents are used, and there are fair funds that are created to pay back
Yeah,
investors.
based on fines given to the companies originally, not the Federal Reserve or the banks or the governments.
In a case of fraud, like Veritasium was, yes. In the case of the Buyback Committee red folder proposal that I'm working on, it's different.
Okay. To be fair, I think we've hit a good time to stop this. Zach, do you reckon?
Yeah, it's like I said, I think whatever your feelings are, whatever your opinion is, that's fine. Share your version of the conspiracy theory. I just don't want to be called a shill. So that's all. That's where I come from. Is I want to be clear that I'm not on the committee to do any sort of agenda to get. I'm not paid anything like that. So that for me is why I wanted to come on and have a conversation with you once again. Is just to understand that I'm a legit guy, just sharing my version of the conspiracy theory and my version of the speculation, right? And I'm not
Can I
here
just
to
ask?
agree with everyone, and I'm not here to give financial advice.
Can I ask one question? There's a guy that keeps coming into your lives and asking a simple question, and you keep going around it. Brian McCoy, I think his name is. You keep talking about the fact that you want to bring XRP into your business. How are you bringing XRP into your business?
So that's like I said, I got guys that kind of troll me a lot. This guy, he's asked me that question in the past, and I've actually answered it already, but I'll answer it again. I will let developers bring digital assets and distributed ledger technology into my businesses. I will not worry about that. So I'm not a tech guy. Everybody knows that about me. I'm not a tech guy.
So
I could just throw out that, like, obviously accepting cryptocurrencies, digital assets would be part of the plan, but
yeah.
I'm not a tech guy. I don't even build my own websites. I don't do any of it.
Okay. I'm just reading. Have you got anything in your comments that people are actually asking that want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think you're a good guy, good intentions, and you're doing good research. You're trying to get to it, but for me, I think some of your feelings and opinions that you've shared on others aren't warranted. But once again, that's just my opinion on your opinions. Everybody can share their opinion on this platform, and so I appreciate that you are respectable. This conversation was very good and pointed and focused, I thought, and so I hope that people kind of learned. Whether we'll see who's right. I don't know what you think the max. What do you think the max is for XRP? Like, I know you've said like $20-$30 before. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But like I said, the main thing is that you're doing research. I'm doing research. Hopefully, everybody's doing their own research as well. And the tough part is we can't get all of the facts and the evidence. Just like in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, they're hiding the Hinman documents. So what I hope that we can agree on is that it's tough to find all of the facts when our government continues to lie time after time again. And I'm talking about the United States government over here, of course.
Okay. I'm just trying to read some of the questions here. What realistic price for XRP do you see?
Short term, $7 to $30. Long term, like I said, I don't have all the facts and circumstances to even come up with that final prediction, in my opinion. I just see the potential for it to move trillions of dollars daily takes it to a much higher price. And I see $50 easily. 3 digits can easily be achieved, in my opinion, as well, over the next 10 years plus, like long-term time frame.
See, the way I look at it is the banks are coming because of the Basel, right? The banks are definitely coming, and people calling me, is the guy in America? So is the British guy that was like the English coming? Apparently, I'm being called him at the moment, saying the banks are coming. So the banks are coming. They're going to bring in part of their capital reserves and their reserves itself, right? They're going to be probably bringing in 1% on the 2B stuff and up to 2 to 3% based on the actual 1A, 1B, and 2As. So if we look at the Basel report, we're looking at probably around about a $10 trillion market cap from the banks. And then Gartner report for business actually said that 3.5 trillion will be coming in from the business side of things. So we're looking at 13, probably 14, 15 if you include retail, itself going in as well. So you're probably looking at around about $15 trillion market cap just on those basic facts alone, right? And if you actually take into about $15 trillion market cap and the fact if the SEC does come out and crush about 99% of these tokens, then you possibly could get to a 5.5 trillion market cap with XRP, which would then lead on to a possible ability to get to about $100. See, right. I'm not adverse to reading the news, doing predictions, doing the actual reviews, looking at the information provided, but I'm certainly not going to sit here drinking Kool-Aid for a 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, and like I said, the $5.4 million freaking XRPs. What I will do is I will do my research and find out price prediction models that I can actually work with, that I can agree with. Now, what I will do though is I'll say that when this court case is over, there isn't going to be no flip of the switch. There is not going to be automatically every single bank going to be utilizing XRP the minute the court case is over. What's going to happen is that the court case is going to go over. There's going to be a lot of FOMO in, going to be a double top, and it's going to come straight back down to the suppressed value that it's always been at. And that's what we all need to be aware of too. Because if all the banks are going to be using the ODL and everything else, they're still doing the testing, and every single bank coming online at the same time with a flip of the switch is not going to happen. Everybody knows projects all work in different time phases. Banks have got to do their reality checks, have got to do the audits, have got to do all the testing. So banks will come online at different stages. There is no flip of the switch. So the price should go up gradually, not instantly. That's what I think.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, for me, you got to look at the precedent, understand history. They bought back gold. They set it at a higher price. We have that precedent, you know. So, you know, some people say,
you guys in America are aware of that. That happened once. And what's that saying? Once shy, twice burnt. You're not going to be twice burnt, are you? You're not going to let that happen. The thing is that
that's the battle that's underway. That's the legal political battle that's underway. Like, that's why we're making our claim now. That's the whole reason for the claim. Our XRP is worth 50 just in case they decide to use it for that. Like, that's the exact reason why we're talking about this. Because we don't want that to happen again.
But how can you speculate on things that you don't know? That's again, coming full circle. The thing is though, is that if you can provide facts that every single bank is going to come online with this, and you can provide facts that they're going to be using the XRP and ODL, and if you can provide facts that all the derivatives markets will be run on the XRP itself, the universal credit will be run on the XRP itself, and all of the tokenized property assets will be run on the XRP itself. If you can provide those facts, you've got a case. You've got a case. But if you can't, you've got fuck all. You've just got a folder.
If people want to hear that case, I encourage them to tune into my live streams Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Tune on in.
Good plug. I'll be there, mate. I'll be there. I will watch. Like I say, I don't not like your content, Zach. I do sit there and watch it. So it's not the fact that I'm a big Zach hater. I just fucking hate this shit. That's the honest truth.
I just continue to say, take it out on the bad actors. Take it out on the bad actors. I'm a good guy.
I'm taking it out on you because you're the bad actor. You're the one with the freaking clickbait shit.
You know,
and on that note, buddy,
if you put 50K in the title, it will get some more views. So if you want to do a 50K title video, you can do that too.
No, because I think I'll keep myself honest and true to what people believe my content to be.
No, man, it's been good. It's been good. It's been good. Good fun.
Yeah, I'm literally running out of battery here, so let me just plug in. Didn't realize. Zach, welcome anytime.
All right,
we appreciate the fact you actually came on.
Across the pond.
Yeah, same to you. Good luck. Okay, let's hope your digital dollar comes in. Take it easy, guys.
We'll see ya.
How do you unmatch? There we go.
All right, folks, I hope you appreciated that session. Good times, good debate, dark horse, good stuff. You know, sharing his version of the conspiracy theory. Like I said, that's all we're doing. Our speculation on this whole thing, this whole conversation. It's tough to get all the facts when our government's hiding the truth from us. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, TikTok. A lot of love for all of you guys, all the real ones that have been here with me the whole way. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Yeah, I tried to just keep it straight. Max, I don't know, man. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you guys. I have a lot of love for you guys, TikTok. Thank you. If you're new here, make sure you guys follow here. The link in bio takes in my website, my YouTube. The FUD is heavy right now, for sure. Echo the truth. The FUD is heavy right now, for sure. There's a lot of confusion. And I have sympathy for that, I have sympathy for that. I'm not trying to pump hopium. I'm trying to give people real actions, strategies that I'm implementing right now that are going to help all of us make it through this. XRP is just part of the program, right? So we're trying to encompass all of the assets, all of the opportunity. We understand that the greatest transfer of wealth in world history is underway, and it's up to us to take action. So I appreciate everyone here. TikTok, thank you guys. Link in bio for my website. You guys get in touch, and I appreciate all of you, okay? Thank you. Thank you.